Hey there, my friend. I know what you're thinking. George Pickens to the Cowboys? Really? And I get it. Ever since the rumors and now the confirmation of the trade, a lot of Cowboys fans have been raising their eyebrows. Not just because of what he brings on the field, but because of everything else that comes with him. The attitude, the sideline moments, the questions about maturity. But here's the deal. I don't think we have anything to worry about, and I'm going to show you why. But before we break this down, let me ask you, are you worried about Pickens wearing the star? Hit the comments and let me know. Do you think his attitude could be a problem, or are you like me and believe he's exactly what this offense needs? Drop your take below. Now back to it. The media has painted Pickens as a risky move, and sure, he's had his moments. But let's not pretend the guy isn't talented. He's a human highlight reel. He was the #1 target in Pittsburgh, even with shaky quarterback play. But that's exactly the point. Imagine what this guy can do with a real quarterback, and not just any quarterback, Dak Prescott. Still, I understand the hesitation. We've seen receivers come through Dallas who brought talent and trouble, and let's be honest, not everyone who comes to the Cowboys thrives under the spotlight. It's a big stage. The lights are bright. The pressure is real. But here's the twist. I believe George Pickens is walking into the perfect situation for his growth. And it's not just about the talent around him. It's about timing, maturity, and a franchise that's finally starting to understand what it takes to win big. And we're just getting started. Next up, I'll give you the first major reason why George Pickens is going to work in Dallas. And trust me, it's not just football talk. Stick with me. So let's talk about what makes this the right time for George Pickens to join the Cowboys. And no, it's not just about roots and touchdowns. It's about the locker room. Because if you're going to bring in a wide receiver with a strong personality, you better have a culture that can handle it. And for the first time in a long time, the Dallas Cowboys actually do. This isn't the same Cowboys team from a few years ago. The days of unchecked egos and inconsistent leadership are fading. There's a different tone in that locker room now, and it starts with guys like Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. Whether you love or question Dak as a QB, there's no denying he's one of the most respected leaders in the NFL. He sets the tone, he holds people accountable, and he knows how to keep the locker room focused. Micah brings that fire too, but it's controlled. It's all about winning. And let's not forget veterans like Zach Martin and Brandon Cooks, who've seen it all and know how to keep young players grounded. This group isn't just talented, they're mature, and that matters. Pickens is walking into a locker room that won't let things spiral, and, more importantly, one that's built to lift guys up, not tear them down. That's the difference. In Pittsburgh, he was part of a young, uncertain offense with shaky quarterback play and questionable leadership. Now, he's surrounded by professionals. Here's something for you to weigh in on. Do you think Dak and Micah are strong enough leaders to keep this team together, even with big personalities like Pickens in the mix? Tap into the comments and tell me, has this locker room truly changed, or are we fooling ourselves? I'll tell you this, I believe Pickens is walking into the most stable environment he's ever had in the NFL, and it's only going to help him succeed. Next, I'm going to break down exactly how he fits on the field, and why he might be the perfect piece for this offense. All right, now let's get into the football side of this, because all the culture talk in the world doesn't matter if the guy can't produce. But George Pickens? He's not just capable, he's built for what the Cowboys need right now. Think about it. What's been missing in this offense since Amari Cooper left? A true WR2, a physical outside threat who can take pressure off CeeDee Lamb, win one-on-ones, and punish defenses that double the star. That's what Pickens brings. At 6'3", he's long, athletic, and aggressive at the catch point. He plays angry, and I mean that in the best possible way. This is a guy who doesn't just catch the ball, he attacks it. Back shoulder throws? He'll go up and get them. Tight coverage? Doesn't matter. He wins with body control, strong hands, and a fearless mentality. And the best part? He doesn't need a perfect ball to make a play. That's something Dak will love. And let's not forget the vertical element. Pickens averaged over 17 yards per catch last season. He's a big play machine waiting to happen. Pair that with ceedee working the slot, Brandon Cooks stretching the field horizontally and Jake Ferguson underneath. Suddenly, this offense has layers and stress for defenses. Here's a question for you. If Pickens really buys into this system and stays focused, could this be the best wide receiver trio in the NFC? Let me know what you think. Drop your rankings in the comments. Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers, who's got the top WR unit? Look, Pickens has all the tools. What he needed was the right situation, and that's exactly what Dallas can offer. He's not coming in to be the savior. He's coming in to be the missing piece. But there's one more angle we have to cover: the money. Because this trade isn't just about talent, it's about value. And when you see what the Cowboys gave up for him, it might just be the steal of the year. Now let's talk about what the Cowboys actually gave up to land George Pickens, because this part is crucial. It's one thing to make a splashy trade. It's another to pull off a move that makes your team better without mortgaging your future. From what's been reported, Dallas didn't have to give up a first-round pick. Instead, it was a mix of mid-round selections, possibly a third and a future conditional pick, for a wide receiver with legitimate WR1 upside. That's a heist, especially when you consider what some other teams are paying for top-end talent. Think about it. The Bears gave up the first overall pick for DJ Moore as part of the package. The Dolphins traded a first-rounder for Tyreek Hill. Even lesser names have cost second-rounders in recent years. So to get a young, explosive wideout still on his rookie contract, that's how smart front offices operate. Jerry and Stephen Jones have taken heat for being conservative. But this is aggressive and calculated. They didn't overextend. They didn't panic. They found a player who fits their timeline and needs, and they got him for pennies on the dollar. Here's something I want to hear from you. Would you have given up a second-round pick for George Pickens? Or do you think the Cowboys should have gone after a different type of player, like a tight end or offensive lineman instead? Let me know in the comments or vote in the poll. Bottom line, Dallas got younger, faster, and tougher without losing any of their premium capital. They kept their 2025 first-rounder. They didn't touch CeeDee's extension money. And they gave Dak another real weapon to help open up this offense. This is how championship rosters are built. You hit on your stars, and then you go out and get value on the margins. But now that Pickens is here, all eyes turn to one question. Will this locker room welcome him with open arms? Or will there be tension? All right, fan, now we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. It's one thing to bring in talent, but when you're adding a fiery personality like George Pickens, you've got to ask, how will he fit inside this locker room? This is still Dak Prescott's team. It's still CeeDee Lamb's offense. And guys like Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup are established veterans. So where does Pickens fit in? Not just on the field, but in the culture. Here's the thing. Everything coming out of Pittsburgh suggested Pickens just wanted to win. He was frustrated with play calling, with losing, and with being underutilized. That's not necessarily a diva. That's a competitor. And the Cowboys need that kind of fire, especially after that lifeless loss to Green Bay last season. Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer have their hands full making sure that this doesn't become a distraction. But let's be honest, you need dogs in this league, guys who bring edge. And George Pickens, he's a purebred. Now let me ask you something real quick. Do you think Pickens will be a spark plug or a problem in the Cowboys locker room? Drop your take in the comments and vote in the poll. I'm curious if you're buying in or worried this could go sideways. As for the future, the Cowboys just added a 23-year-old with star upside without giving up premium draft capital or blowing up the cap. That's the kind of move that can pay off big time if the coaching staff knows how to harness it. And let's be real, if Pickens is even 80% of what he's flashed in Pittsburgh, this offense just got a lot scarier. Defenses won't be able to double CeeDee without risking getting burned deep. That means more options for Dak, more space for Pollard's replacement, and more chances to finally make a playoff run that matters. This might just be the boldest move Dallas has made since trading for Amari Cooper. Only time will tell if it